This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. Although my background, Toronto, is where I would love to be. I will this fall, though, because here we are on September the here it's September the 6th, where my guest is it's September the 5th, but September the 6th, 2023. But the end of October, you will catch me at Frightmare in the Falls assisting Lisa Langlois of class of 1984 at Frightmare in the Falls. I will, this is my third convention with her. Not that I'm important, she is important, and I look forward to sharing time with her there. But speaking of sharing time, I have a five-time guest here. In fact, somebody who I've never personally met, but we know each other. Why? Because he's directed me in 5 movies without fucking meeting me. Including this gem, which my background might be concealing. Yes, It Wants Blood. Yes, where Eric Roberts watches me on a television. I imagine he regrets that. But It Wants Blood, and I have the director on for the fifth time, James Balsamo. How do you do, James?
Hey everybody, James Balsamo here. Five-time, 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 five-time guest. Can you believe it? Five-timers club. All right. It's a party. Let's
Yeah.
get wild.
Well, I heard I caught your message. You were a little late getting going here because you said uh you just get in the door, and I was like, did you hurt your head?
Yeah,
You just walked into the door?
I just walked into the door. Boy, is my head tired.
You are constantly busy, and I haven't been able to contribute to any of your films. For I really wanted to get on It Wants Blood too because I love Weird Al. I just haven't been able to scrape the money together because this has been a rough year for me. But I am part of 9 of your films, and I know I sent all my footage to you, but there's still five unused footage left, and
That's
I know
right.
there's
Five more
five
coming out.
there's five more that because so far I've seen Cool as Hell 2, which I'm in. Of course It Wants Blood, which I gotta say my favorite cameos. They had two cameos in there where I'm being watched by Eric Roberts on a television. I have not yet had him on the show. I gotta have him on here at some point.
Oh yeah.
I need to ask him what it was like working with me. Anyway, I've seen, of course, Catch of the Day 2. I'm in that. Um, Along with the shit flicks critic Andrew Lewis. And I just the other night I watched Hollywood Werewolf,
Oh yeah, it's a real
where you
howl.
yeah with Andy Dick. I'm really proud of the cameo I did in that one. The one the one where you have me uh, auditioning for the Life and Death of an Avocado, and
Right.
I just flew off that at the top of my head. But watching, I mean, I am no actor, but I got to admit, I pride myself in comparing the avocado to Shrek's nutsack. I gotta say, I'm proud of that line.
Brilliant. You're a true artiste, Greg.
I tried. And I got another five of them there for your film. So far, the ones I haven't seen. And if you need me to send those footage to you again, I can. But there's Killer Ways 2. I did
Right.
that. I sent footage for that. Twerk of Terror, Nightmare Party.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Balsamo Beach.
Yep.
There's Bite School 2 and Spill Your Guts 2.
Yeah.
Yep. I had a lot of regret. I really wanted in on It Wants Blood 2. but I wasn't able to do it financially. It was just I wasn't able to get into that. But I am happy you got to have Weird Al Yankovic on that. I've been a fan of his for since the early '80s, man. What was he like?
Fun, very fun. He came over to my house to film it, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a trip because I've been a Weird Al fan my whole life also. So very fun, and he really knows how to turn it on. You know what I mean? So I don't want to spoil too much, but he does turn into a weird owl.
A Weird Owl. What's your favorite Weird Al song?
Dare to be stupid.
I love that song. I love that song.
Yeah. What
It's
about
like
you?
it's like spitting on a fish.
That's
It's like
right.
barking up a tree.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, my favorite. You know
You
what?
gotta
That
buy one if
is.
you want to get one free.
Mhm. Well, Dare to Be Stupid, maybe between that and One More Minute are my favorite non-parody songs.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of parody songs, that's a really good question. There's so many parody songs that were great. Like I Can't Watch This was great, you know.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, um, I really liked oh gee, there's just so many that many to name, you know. I got everything he's done on on CD here, you know. So,
Oh yeah.
yep, I love his stuff. I got everything he's done. And I love UHF. I've interviewed David Bowie from that movie, so
Oh cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
he still likes Twinkie Wiener sandwiches.
Right.
So how did I might have asked you this the last interview. My apologies if I'm repeating myself, but how did you meet Weird Al?
Through Eric Roberts, funny enough.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not. No, true story.
That is actually kind of funny.
Yeah. So I was wearing a UHF t-shirt while I was filming with Eric Roberts for It Wants Blood 2,
Mhm.
and Eric Roberts goes, "Oh, I know Sly." He thought, when Weird Al is ripped like Rambo in UHF, it's like a parody of Rambo, and that was the t-shirt where it's Weird Al, but he's like doing the Rambo bit. So his wife, Eliza Roberts, who you might have seen in Animal House and
Animal House, yeah.
she goes, "Oh no, it's not Sly. That's Weird Al. We know him also." And I go, "Oh, you know him? Can you see if you get him in on this movie?" And she said, "I can send him a message." And sure as shit, about a month later, Weird Al was in my house filming It Wants Blood too.
Well, you know what? I have not gotten I'd love to get his wife on here as well. I love Animal House. I've interviewed a couple of people from Animal House, so
Yeah,
I'm still working on that, but I need to ask Eric Roberts what it was like working with me.
yeah.
I want to hear him say it was the greatest experience, such a great experience that he doesn't remember it, but he just knows it was good.
Oh yeah. He's a brilliant actor. I'm sure he'll say that for you.
Yeah, but I got to watch um a Hollywood Werewolf, and I had a great time watching that. Sean Doucette, of course, is from this neck of the woods. I It still blows my mind that you got two of us from fuck all nowhere, New Brunswick, Canada, in your movies. Like, how did you pull that off? I don't know.
Canadian magic, you Canuck, you.
Well,
You
nobody like
knucklehead.
I'm 4 hours ahead of you, and so is Sean. We're 4 hours
Right.
ahead of you, you know. And not
Yeah.
most people in California is like, aren't you 3 hours? No, four, four. Nobody knows where we are. You know.
Right. I traveled into the future to get you guys.
Yeah. Yep, and I saw Sean, of course, in the movie as well. I saw so many familiar faces, like Derek Webb I've had on here, you know. Troy Froman, he'll also audition for The Life and Death of Avocado, and I have a feeling he got the role.
Yeah.
He went deep into character in that.
He sure did.
I had a great time watching that. And Andy Dick. Now, I've heard a lot of crazy stories about Andy Dick. How much of those crazy stories are true from your vantage point?
100% of them. Everybody in Los Angeles has a crazy Andy Dick story, but he really is a sweet guy, and he was really a lot of fun to work with. So
Again, how did you come across him?
that is a very serendipitous story, Greg. So
Eric
a buddy of
Roberts
mine,
again?
no, actually, another Rob, the Rob Mulligan, who was a producer on It Wants Blood. He's the guy with the dreadlocks that gets the snake through him. So Rob Mulligan said, "Oh, I know Andy Dick." And I said, "Oh, cool. If we could get him for a movie, that'd be great." The very next day, without Rob talking to Andy Dick, he was outside of my house in Los Angeles and he just happened to be walking down the street. Total coincidence, but so crazy that I had talked about him, and the very next day he was outside of my place in Los Angeles, and I bumped into him. It was so serendipitous. I was like, okay, I got to work with this guy.
That is awesome. That is awesome. No, and of course, I love the fact you worked with Lita too, and It Wants Blood, and she is beautiful in person.
She is more so.
Why didn't you get her to beat your ass on screen?
I did have her get a little physical. I think she grabs me by the shirt collar or something like that. But we actually filmed that right at the tail end of COVID, and so she was very, concerned about that. So, like, honestly, the stuff that we did close was very quick, and then she went right back to like covering up. She was very concerned. Her boyfriend or her husband, is easily susceptible to illness, so she was very paranoid while filming that movie, but very fun and you know what I mean, easy to work with at the same time.
You still talk to Genevieve Rossi?
Sometimes.
I had her on. I think she's a five-timer on this year.
Oh yeah, nice.
Your name always comes up.
It does it.
Yes. How about that?
Yeah, how about
He,
it?
he was what led me to you.
Right.
See, because of her, you're stuck with this kind of star power
That's right.
in 90-year movies. I think that's a badge of honor. I got to get in a 10th one at some point, I got to do
Okay.
that, but uh, don't take it personal if I haven't been, just my financial situation isn't what it was like, but I would have loved to have done the It Wants Blood 2 one, but I just wasn't able to scrape that together. But I love Weird Al, and but you know what? I'm very happy about the films I contributed to.
Oh yeah,
Like
good.
like I got involved in, like, it's a lot of your franchise films. I'm in It Wants Blood 1. I got the second Cool as Hell.
Right,
This the second Bite School, the second Killer Ways, the second Catch of the Day, you
right.
know. And so I'm very happy about stuff, and I'm in the first Twerk of Terror.
That's right.
Any, yeah, any word about when that's happening yet?
Hopefully October. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got a lot of movies coming out in October for Halloween.
I went after that one based on its title.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of twerking in that movie.
Well, here's one thing I need to bring up when it comes to Hollywood Werewolf. I was watching you on there, and then you cut, and there'd be footage of. I'm going to tell you, you put John Waters to shame with some of the shit you get people to do in this. But
It's a great quote, Greg.
I love Angel Bradford.
uh,
I love Angel Bradford, and I got to ask, number one, how did you meet her? And correct me if I'm wrong. Now, again, because this was shot a little bit a while ago, but because I know she recently did Desperate Souls, she might have shot this before she even came on my show. I have to ask her about this, but I need Claire. Was she the one that was in the bathtub naked pouring milk over herself?
Yep. And honey, milk and honey.
Oh my. She went for it.
You sure
Uh,
did.
okay, talk about like I come across her online and she's doing a lot of the indie films and I've actually become a pretty big fan of hers because
Uh-huh.
she's one of these ones you see her with the glasses and whatnot, and it's like underneath those glasses, she's pretty hot. And then you get
Yeah,
her spinning around the little stripper's pole there, and it's like she does some amazing things on that pole.
right.
And then you see her in some of these movies, and like she is really hot, but she doesn't come off obvious about it. But there's something really funny about her. She's got something very quirky and funny about her, which is why I really like her. And so, how did you come across Angel Bradford?
Forget if I think it was through Facebook. Somebody
Hmm.
recommended her, or I reached out, or she asked me if she could. I honestly don't remember. It's been a while. She did that self tape a while ago. Hollywood Werewolf was on the burner because of COVID, so
Hmm.
it sat on the shelf for a little bit. So I think she filmed that maybe 2 or even 3 years ago now. So
How many movies is she in that you've directed?
right now, one. I
Just
think
the one?
I think we'll have her in something else though. She was really fun and easy to work with, and
She is fun and very. I don't know about easy to work with. I've never worked with her, but she is definitely fun, and she's definitely somebody I look forward to seeing more of.
hmm
Yeah, but okay. I need to ask. Uh, Script aside,
hmm
how do you approach her about pouring honey and milk and all that stuff over? Because she wasn't the only girl you had do stuff about like this, but she was one with beans too, right?
that was a different one. That
Or
was
was it the?
Holes.
It was one that did corn, but okay,
Yeah,
so Angel
that
did
was
milk.
Alana Dro who did that. She's an adult film star.
Okay, well, Angel's I don't see her as an adult film star. I see her as an indie actress, but
Sure,
but she went for this.
right.
So, convincing her to do that, was this in the script or did she just come up with this?
Oh yeah. So all the girls had a similar theme with food or some kind of splashing, as you call it in the industry. That's the technical term for pouring food all over your naked body. It's turning my dog on. He's very horny. That's what you hear in the background.
I thought that was you. So Angel Bradford had no reservations about this at all?
No, like I said, super easy to work with. I told
Mhm.
her, what the scene required, and she did a self tape, and then she taped that all herself, and then sent it to me. And there it is
And
in the
again,
movie.
and again, I'm not judging her. It's just like, it's like, how do you get somebody to do stuff like that? I thought it was, I looked at that as like Angel Bradford. That's Angel Bradford. I said, Jaysville, Sam, you dirty bird. But nonetheless, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Splashing is one of the more funny fetishes out there, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
either funny or gross.
Right.
You know, I probably the funniest sex thing I ever heard with food. I interviewed a comedian named Dale Hilton who used to be the driver for an escort service. And he would always hear the stories of the escorts when they kicked
Uh-huh.
up. And I asked him if he can recall any of the most odd stories. And he said he had one of the girls said that this guy paid her a large sum of money to beat him with raw chicken.
Oh,
You might want to put that in one of your films.
oh yeah, raw chicken. That's
Uh,
that's a good way to get salmonella.
like to me, I'm like I thought I heard it all, you know. But
Yeah.
I find there's some of that stuff. Splashing, I couldn't get into, but I think it's funny. I think one of the funniest splashing things I ever see, I didn't even know if I'd call it splashing, but involved food was in 9.5 weeks where where they're in front of the fridge and Mickey
Uh-huh.
Rourke is putting all that stuff all over Kim Basinger. But the funny part about it was the song "Bread and Butter" by the New Bits playing in the background.
Right.
So it sounded funny. And
Yeah.
I think one of the other funniest, and this one here is friggin' because there's an indie movie called Attack of the Adult Babies out there, which I saw, and this whole idea of a lot of times sex is about men wanting to be dominated by women. So
Right.
a lot of these movies where guys will be dominated by having women put them in diapers is also pretty
Uh,
freaking weird. Weird but funny. But
right.
I find fetishes, as long as they're not self-harming, I find it very curious and a lot of it funny. So I looked at Hollywood Werewolf with a great deal of amusement.
Oh, good.
Yep. I was like, okay, whatever floats your boat.
Right.
They had like a four-course meal on them between all those girls.
True. Yeah.
Yep. And anyway, what are you working on now? Can you talk about it amidst the writer's strike? Are you
Yeah.
able to?
Yeah. It's called Robot Dracula. John Landis, Malcolm McDowell, Tom Holland, not Spider-Man, director of Child's Play. Don Coscarelli, his first on-screen appearance is in the movie, and it's going to be wild. It's also got Russell Simmons in it, and the Afro Man, and it's got over 40 celebrities in it. Scott Steiner's in it, Ron Simmons is in it, Lex Luthor's in the movie, and it's wild.
I just ordered on, I didn't know this until I heard Sean Clark's A Thing with Two Heads. That Tom Holland had a web page where you could
Uh-huh.
order stuff from him. I just ordered a signed script of Fright Night because
Oh,
I'm a huge Fright Night fan, you know?
yeah.
Yep. And
John Clark is also in the movie.
oh yeah, you know Shauna.
Yeah.
I've had Sean Clark on the show twice.
Oh, nice.
Yep, and I'm still in touch with him. I don't talk to him a lot. I know he reached out to me because he was doing a horror holograms in Toronto for a class of 1984, and he was hoping he could connect with Lisa Langlois for
Uh,
a bit. But and I reached out to I'm friends with Lisa. You know, she invited me to my first con, so I'm really indebted to Lisa. But Lisa had an awful lot going on in her life right now, um, so she wasn't able to do it. But we are going to do Frightmare in the Falls, and Sean Clark's going to be there because a lot of the Halloween people are going to be there. So
oh, cool.
I'm looking forward to meeting Sean. But so you must have encountered him at one of the cons.
I know Sean a long time. I'm from doing conventions. I've been doing conventions for over 10 years. So,
I was surprised he said he was doing his since 1988
yeah.
because he and I are right around the same age. I think he's a couple years older than me,
Hmm.
you know. So when do you talk about first meet? Like I shouldn't say first meeting him, but approaching him for this. What's he playing this? Do you mind me asking?
He plays himself. A lot of the celebrity cameos they play themselves, and it's a quick thing. He just gets killed by Malcolm McDowell.
Does Malcolm McDowell say very well? Very well. Talk about working with Malcolm McDowell.
Incredible. You know what I mean? He's a true master of his craft. very, very fun to work with. You know what I mean? He's a brilliant guy. He's smart. He's witty, and he's wild. You know what I mean? He drops f bombs like nobody's business, and you know he knows how to get a good performance. You know what I mean? He knows how to do what you need. He's been in the business a long time. I mean, he's worked with the best of the best, especially now that he's worked with me. He's worked with all of the greats. He went from Stanley Kubrick to me. So
I've interviewed a couple of people from A Clockwork Orange, and I've heard good things. And let's not forget, he did talk to his penis in Get Crazy.
that's right. He's got a great sense of humor, and as an actor, he knows to go, be wild and just live in the moment of the experience of what is going to be the most entertaining aspect, and that's what's great about him. You know what I mean? He's like, okay, I'm robot Dracula. You know what I mean? And he just goes crazy. It's great.
So what's the film? What did you say the name of the film was that this is that you were working on?
It's called Robot Dracula.
Robot Dracula. Okay. And I guess he's the central star of the movie, huh?
Yeah, he's Robot Dracula.
Okay. It's interesting too because you've had Eric Roberts be a central part of It Wants Blood. You
Hmm.
had Andy Dick be a central part of Hollywood Werewolf,
Right.
and now you've got Malcolm McDowell for this. Talk about landing these performers. Like, I know you get people like me for the cheap. I mean, I could be charging you like tens and tens of millions of dollars for
Sure, tens and
my
tens.
absolute talent and in charge for Skittles' talent on top of that, because he is in
Right.
one of the scenes and one of the ones that you haven't posted yet.
Brilliant Skittles.
But I'm being generous. I'm being generous. But talk about landing, like you get Eric Roberts, Andy Dick, and Malcolm McDowell. I know you get a lot of these people to do these cameos, and they're doing them for favors or whatever, you know.
Mhm.
Do these particular performance, or do you pay them, or what's the story?
Oh yeah, well Malcolm I paid, you know what I mean? And Andy I paid and Eric I paid, you know what I mean? So it all depends. Sometimes yeah, they do it for nothing. They you know what I mean? They've got more money than God and they don't want my 10 cents and so they're just happy to do it. And then, some want blood money. So it goes either way.
So Malcolm didn't ask for Karoba milk.
He did not. I'll tell you who did ask for a chocolate milk, Herschel Gordon Lewis. That was the only thing that he wanted from me after we filmed. He asked for a chocolate milk. And when I gave it to him, he said, "You are a sweet man." And, brilliant.
Yeah, Genevieve Rossi said that she worked in Herschel Gordon Lewis's last movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, obviously, the pandemic is kind of slowed down and it's hopefully gone.
yeah,
But talk about combating the pandemic, because I know Troy Elke has talked to me about, waiting and waiting because he really wants to see these movies that you're making as well. And one area where you're lucky, you get a lot of people to do stuff right there on camera,
yeah,
like and you do a lot of your stuff, on like filming yourself. That's pretty easy part because you're not don't have to necessarily interact with
right.
your talent. But what was the hardest film to try to deal with in terms of dealing with the bug?
Um, for me, I kind of lucked out. I filmed all the way through COVID. It just kind of held back a lot of films that I already had in the can because the market had changed so much. I mean, you saw that with like Universal and Marvel, how they sat on these movies because people weren't going out and buying anything. And so a lot of the films that I had already filmed, like Hollywood Werewolf, kind of sat on the shelf waiting for the rabbit to come out of its hole, so to speak.
Okay, well, I got this on Blu-ray, and I'm happy to have this on Blu-ray. And do you have any other films that are on? Because I love the Blu-ray and physical media. Do you have any Blu-rays of any of your other titles, specifically ones that I'm in?
Oh yeah, Catch of the Day 2 is on Blu-ray. I think everything I think that's out that you're in is currently out on Blu-ray. And so you could go to walmart.com or bestbuy.com or jamesbalsamo.com and see what's out there. Because I have over 140 film products out right now.
I prefer to go on your web page. That way you can get the money direct.
I appreciate
So,
that.
yeah, so Hollywood Werewolves on Blu-ray?
Hollywood Werewolves on Blu-ray. Yeah.
Okay. Now, out of the five mine that aren't completed yet, do you have I know I sent them to you, but do you have the five scenes that you haven't put in the films yet, or do you need them resent to you, or
I,
what?
I have them, but if you resend them to me, it's easy to organize because I have so many hard drives. I have a whole box of hard drives, and so I'm always digging through stuff to find. I'm, I try to be as organized as I can for somebody that's scatterbrained, but it's hard. So if you send them to me, it'll be a little more organized, easier to get.
Okay. Okay. So what one are you working on releasing now?
Killer Waves 2 is the one that's coming out next.
Okay, I'm part of that. So yeah, I don't even know which ones of what scene goes with what. I'll let you pave through that,
Yeah,
But I
just send them
know,
all.
yeah, I am happy with my work in those. For somebody who's not an actor, I did get creative with some of them. So
Yeah.
I'll say that. But nonetheless, talk about some of your latest convention experiences because I know you've done a few. I know Tommy Kovac saw you at one.
Oh yeah, I think that was in Sacramento. I just got back from North Carolina last week. I was signing at Mad Monster Party in Concord, and I went out there to film a movie called Karate Ghost 2, Dojo of Death, with Joe Borlick and Linnea Quigley's in that, and John Morrison from the WWE, aka John Hennigan. Now he's on AEW, known as Johnny TV, and we'll be shooting for that this week, wrapping that up. So that'll be out soon too.
Was Linnea Quigley still using Badger spray?
Every chance she gets.
I'm I've had her on the show on my birthday a few years ago, but I met her at Horrorama 2018. So, but she's supposed to be at Frightmare in the Falls this fall.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. So, I'll see her again. She was in Cool as Hell 2 with me.
Yeah,
So, yeah, we talked about that and she remembered doing it, but she hadn't seen the movie.
right.
Yep. But I told her, I said I based my scene off of what I seen her do. So,
Right.
yep, that's how I went about that. But when you're doing conventions, do you move a lot of your product, like especially with your Blu-rays? What's your most popular film?
The movies that I do called Sexy Time, those are probably the most popular. They're compilations of the breast scenes from some of my films. And then also these guys, Mind Melters. They
Mm-hmm.
I just finished Mind Melters 17 today, so there's 17 of these guys. They're compilations of naked ladies from some of my films and celebrity promos and music videos and behind the scenes stuff. So it's all like the short ends, as they used to call it in film. The little bits and stuff like that that ends up on the cutting room floor. I turn into a whole new movie, and those are Mind Melters. And I actually painted the cover for this guy. This is
There you
Karate,
go.
and he's kicking somebody's head off. As you can see, I'm a brilliant artist. But uh, but yeah, those are some of my top sellers: "Sexy Time" and "Mind Melters," and of course all the movies that you're in, Greg, because they
Well,
ask. I name.
obviously, I'm not going to be in your sexy time videos.
You're not gonna
However,
take some mayonnaise, Greg, and rub it on your nipples?
no, but you might be able to get Sean Doucette, Troy Froman, and Troy Elke to do those very things.
Yeah, probably.
They might even make a musical number out of it.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Musical.
Although, quite frankly, I prefer to see Angel Bradford do those things over those three. Not that I'm trying to shame anybody,
Right.
but nonetheless, I know you still work with Craig Muckler because he calls me every now and again,
Oh
and
yeah,
he
you talked to Greg?
Craig talks to me a lot, and he's one of these people like he'll call me up at odd times. I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. The last time he called me, like he was talking about Mark and Clark, and he's talking about Mind Melters he's doing with you and whatnot. And
Uh-huh.
anyway, I was cleaning, but I was alone in the building, so I had the earbuds in, so I was able to talk. Listen, you want to hear a
Uh-huh.
funny story? I'm gonna
Oh
give
yeah.
you one. Um, when he when we said our goodbyes, I heard a loud noise on the other end, and apparently he dropped the phone or something. I could hear was him swearing repeatedly. And I don't think he knew I was on the other end of the phone. I could not stop listening. I was like, this is just magic. I listened to him for some 2 minutes,
Wow.
like, swearing at this phone or something he dropped. And I think there was somebody else in the house or something, but I just found it amusing. But how often do you talk to Craig, or do you find that he talks to you a lot too?
Oh yeah, Craig calls me maybe every other day.
Oh, he talks to you more than me. So is he involved in all your projects?
He's involved in a bunch, and we're talking about doing Mark and Clark too. I don't know if you've seen the first one, but it's fun.
Well, all I know is he and I talk about the fact that I'm Judy Aronson's stalker
Uh-huh.
without actually stalking her, but that's my reputation, and I got to stick to that.
Right.
Yeah. I got to look at some of the stuff you have done. You mentioned Karate Ghost.
Uh-huh.
What is Raven Van Slender Saves Christmas?
It's a Christmas movie. It's a spin-off from Alien Danger with Raven Van Slender. I did two of those movies, and then the third is the Christmas movie.
Okay, and I
I did.
definitely have heard of Splice. Now you play a character named Rodney Calloway. Is that a reference to Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I love Caddyshack.
Yeah, me too.
Uh,
We actually filmed where they filmed Caddyshack, that golf course.
oh, did ya?
Yeah, huh?
Did you have as much of a hard time with that
No,
as
because
they did?
we didn't blow up the course like they did.
Oh wow, I need to see who all you had in that. Well,
Yeah,
C.J. Graham, I've met him but not interviewed him.
yeah. Robbie Krieger from The Doors is in it.
Ira Hayden, I've had him on the show.
Uh-huh. Phil Tippett's in it.
Oh wow. Harry Manfredini, I met him last year.
Yeah,
Yep. So are you doing a sequel to Slice?
it's out. Yeah, it's out now.
Oh, is it? Because I just see the first one on here. Now, another one I see on here that I am familiar with is the Once and Future Smash. Now, I've had both Michael St. Michael's and Bill Whedon on here, but that's got a lot of
Did you see Bill Whedon in Hollywood Werewolf?
yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
With that long gray hair, yes, I did.
Huh?
Why? Yeah, why didn't you get Michael St. Michael's in it? I mean, he was the knot guy, and
Michael's in Cool as Hell too.
yeah, I know he's the guy who says not.
That's right. He sure is.
But I was distracted because that tattooed girl, Caroline Winkler, she was hot.
Yeah.
Who is she?
She's a friend of mine. I haven't seen her in a little while, but she was dating another friend of mine, Neil, for a long time, and then they broke up, and I haven't seen her in a while. And then Neil just had a baby with somebody else. So
Because I was reaching out to see if I could get her on the show. I think I found somebody that she had tattoos everywhere but her face, but she has such an angelic looking face.
she had face tattoos.
Oh, really? Her face is tattooed now?
Yeah, just like
Oh
little
my.
ones. I think like on the side of her eye, like over here somewhere.
Well, she obviously has a high pain tolerance.
Oh yeah,
Is that why she worked with you? Because she has high
exactly.
pain tolerance? Yeah. Yeah, I actually talked to Michael St. Michael's about shooting that scene, and he said he kind of just went in blindly, and he seems to be
Yeah.
game for anything.
Yeah, he was super fun. I like working with Mike. He's a fun guy, and it was great that Phil Anselmo, the singer of Pantera, is also in that scene. So
Hmm.
it was really cool to work with both of them. It was funny because they were both excited to work with each other. Phil had been in a few of my other movies, and I had just met Michael over the weekend, and I said, "I'm doing another movie, and Phil's going to be in it. Would you like to be in it?" And Michael was like, "Yeah, I'll be in a scene with the lead singer of Pantera." And then I told Phil, "Hey, I got the Greasy Strangler himself to be in a scene. You want to be in it?" And he was like, "Yeah, I want to be in a scene with the Greasy Strangler." And that was like at the height of the movie's popularity when we had filmed that. I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 months when it was like really cooking, the Greasy Strangler. So, you know what I mean? They were both really excited to do it. It was fun.
You didn't get Sky Ellerer?
Sky came to one of my barbecues last year. You know what I mean? We were talking about doing something. He didn't want to film it there. Sky is an interesting character. He wants more of like a film environment. He kept saying, "I don't want to do skits, man." And I was like, "No, it's for a movie. It's not a skit." And he just kept saying that. "I don't want to do skits, man."
I
And I
had
was like,
them both on
"Okay,
together. Look who just made a cameo.
hey, Skittles."
Skittles. Skittles? Skittles is like, nope. He has to pay me to be in his movie. I already shot one cameo with. Oh, Skittles, you ignore that. I just said that. Skittles says, "You're exploiting me. You're exploiting me."
That's a good looking
He
Skittle.
said he's offended that you have a dog and not a cat.
Yeah, I have three. Be offended 3 times over, Skittles.
Skittles, you are offended 3 times over that this guy, Skittles is like, no, you're exploiting me. You're exploiting me. Yeah, you come over and rub against my finger. No, but no, I had a great time talking to them. But you should get them both in a scene together,
Ooh.
Michael and Sky,
Oh yeah.
because I interviewed them both separately, but I ended up also being able to get them both on here together, and that was interesting.
Oh, I
But
bet.
but one of the fun things about interviewing Michael is that his phone kept ringing, and it was always somebody calling about a prescription or calling about this and that, and I just let it keep going because he didn't care.
Right.
He did care, and listening to him react to whoever was calling, he looks at me, he says, "Do you need such and such?" I said, "No," and he goes, "Well, I guess no," or something like that.
Right.
Yep, that is funny. So, any con stories about like how many you did this year? I know you've done at least one.
Yeah, I've done a few. So I wasn't doing really shows over COVID.
Hmm.
I didn't want to go through the hassle of traveling and doing all that stuff. So I kind of just laid back and cranked out a whole bunch of movies. So I've probably done maybe 6 or 7 shows in the last few months. I think I've been doing like a show a month, if not two. So
Okay, any interesting con stories for this year?
oh, always always interesting being on the road.
Like, what's your highlight stories?
Ooh, highlight. Well, filming with Linnea Quigley last week was really fun. I also got to film with I don't know if you're familiar with the Joe Bob Briggs show,
Yep.
but my buddy Johnny Brennan is one of the producers on it, and he's the guy that plays guitar with Joe Bob Briggs. He's kind of like well, anyway, he was with I'm not sure if you're familiar with Meat Canyon. He does like these like internet cartoons. So Johnny and Meat Canyon did a cameo in Robot Dracula while I was in a show in California called Monster Palooza, and that was really fun. So
Yeah, I just got my passports done last year because it was actually Lisa suggested it because if she does any cons in the States, might be a chance for me to help her out at those. I've never been to the States before.
oh
So,
yeah, cool.
yeah, so I might be able to appear at some of those. So,
Greg goes Hollywood.
I don't know how far I'll go, and a lot of it depends on work because I seem to be the only person my employers can call when I already put in my time for Frightmare in the Falls. I'm gonna be gone for a week, and it's like
Right.
that's when everybody calls me is when I'm on vacation.
Hmm.
Like I'm that go-to guy. But nonetheless, I enjoy doing the cons. I prefer the smaller cons to the bigger cons, but Frightmare in the Falls is gonna have about 43 guests, and I'm like stressing out about who to meet. But you know what? I'm gonna be at Lisa's table probably all weekend, so uh, that's gonna. I probably won't meet too many, but I know Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist, who's been on here a couple times. I ordered a beanie, a Pazuzu beanie from her, and rather than pay shipping, she's gonna bring it to the con event. So
Oh,
so I'm
nice.
going to at least get to meet her, but but nonetheless, you got to get Genevieve Rossi back into a movie.
Right.
She and I discussed that, and know what her excuse is? She said, "Well, he's on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you can get her to film something."
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. You never know.
get her back in your movies again. Like she used to be in everything.
Oh yeah.
What's the last thing you had her in?
Probably cool as hell too.
I think that's the only one she and I are both in.
Right.
Hmm. So from Dust Till Bong, I love that title.
Oh, thanks.
Yep. And I think you've done a couple of them.
Yeah, well, so it goes like this. Robot Dracula is actually in that uh 4 pack. It goes Bite School, From Dusk Till Dawn, Bite School 2, Robot Dracula.
I'm in Bite School too,
Yeah.
but I have my footage. Yeah, you gotta get my footage and the I'll have to send you the footage and tell you what films that you haven't got my footage in yet. So, but if you got everything on Blu-ray, what kind of packages do you have? Like, do you have like a compilation package for Blu-rays?
I don't, but I'm sure we could work some out if you want something.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing any sexy time shit. No, I'm not working things out that way. Maybe Troy Elke might be game, or
Right.
maybe they might be able to do something on the cam for you. Troy does have a squirrel.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, so you never know.
It's true. You never know.
I don't know. Who is the most I was going to say most famous person that you've ever met at these cons, but that could be a really high. Okay, who have you met that just totally blew you away about meeting?
Uh, Probably Robert England. You know what I mean? I'm a big Freddy Krueger fan, so it was
Hmm.
cool to meet Freddy. And I was wearing this shirt that says "fart," and it's something I wear in Robot Dracula. And so when I was wearing the shirt, I think I saw him like maybe 2 or 3 months ago at a show. He said, "That's got to be the best shirt I saw all week." We were back in the green room and we took a selfie together, and it was cool.
You want me to? I'll go throw something at you. You should do a shirt. You might even want to call your character this, but a shirt that says the top part says PHART and the bottom part is WRIGHT.
Yeah, that's funny.
It was kind of like in Dazed and Confused where it has FA FAH dash Q.
Right.
You could have t-shirts this part right.
That's right.
That could be your character name.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There you go. There you go.
Thank
Well,
you
what
for that.
else? I'll throw that. Yeah, I can see you playing that character.
Yeah, I'm not above that.
No? Are you gonna have more splosh play in your future movies?
It's true.
No, are you?
Oh yeah. Did you like that?
I found it amusing. A little
Yeah.
gross, but it's amusing. Well, it's certainly better than I don't understand these fetishes where people cut themselves. I don't want to see that. But this
Right.
is this is amusing.
Yeah.
I'm down to watch amusing. I was shocked.
Right.
I'm looking at Angel Bradford quite a lot differently than I did before.
Sure.
It's like I'm looking at her and thinking, "Got milk,
Right.
got milk." Talk about milk and honey. But I admire her for going for it.
Sure.
Nobody wants to see me do it. I'll tell you that.
You never know, Greg. Don't say never.
No, no. I, well, I wouldn't. Holy fuck! Even she looks great.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see this naked. My cat only puts up with it because he's only got a limited places to run. Plus, he knows I got treats here, so he can forgive me easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen a handful of these, and I love the fact that when I saw It Wants Blood, the rough cut, they only had the elephant serpent creature, and then when I saw this unrated one, you had the other creatures, like I was watching a whole different movie.
Right.
You know, you got any creature features coming up in your other ones?
Well, it wants blood too. It's got some new creatures in it, and
Hmm.
it's Coolio's last movie also. And then Toomey the
That's
Hungry Tumor, that's got Tom Arnold in it and stars Fred Stoller from Seinfeld and Dumb and
Dumb and
Dumber.
Dumber. Yeah. Oh wow, what was it like working with Tom Arnold?
Awesome. He was really easy and fun to work with. Funny guy.
You
Funny
know
guy.
what? He doesn't get enough credit. Like I loved him in True Lies,
He's great in that.
but
Yeah.
but I'm gonna say this. I think Big Bully and even the Stupids are kind of underrated.
The Stupids is amazing, and the stop animation is incredible in that film. I love The Stupids. And I don't know if you know this, but I'm my own grandpa.
Yes, you are. You're your own grandpa. Well, I love the fact that Jessica Lundy was allowed to be fucking funny. A
Right?
lot of movies like that, they'll have the Tom Arnold character be stupid,
Right.
and yet the female, the wife, is the voice of reason. I love the fact that Jessica Lundy was allowed to be funny.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's a brilliant film. It's very
yeah.
funny.
Well, I thought it was funny. I seen it a few years ago, and I looked at it and I was like, this is shit.
Right.
But I watched it again recently because I was like, I like John Landis. Let's take a look at this again. I took a look at it again. And one thing that really made me laugh is the fact that this family is so stupid that when their garbage disappears, they're wondering where it went, you know? Somebody stole their garbage. Well, of course, if they come around every week, they take your garbage. I thought that was funny. And then he goes into the garage. He sees the car. Or no, he sees the bike, two wheels. Sees the car, four wheel. He
Right.
takes the friggin' roller skates, got eight wheels. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's something very stupid about it, but yet from a comic standpoint, I'm like, you know what? It took some brains to write that.
Sure.
Yep, yep. Oh, you gonna get Tom Arnold in another movie?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, I think that'd be great. He was supposed to be at Frightmare in the Falls one year, and he ended up canceling. So I didn't get to meet him, but he's somebody I hope to run into at some point. So, what do you have coming up? What are you working on? What is your brain? What's circling around in your brain for films?
Oh well, I got a whole bunch of other movies that I've got percolating. Pizza Boys is a movie with Ken Davidian that I made from Borat. You know, he's the assistant in Borat, and I made that movie with Greg Talley. That's coming out, and then man, I got like 20 movies coming out, Greg.
Do you ever sleep?
I don't. That's why I yawn a lot because I don't sleep.
Well, I see you on there yawning. I figured I was just boring.
I cut Mind Melters 17 today, and I had a production meeting, and then I'm planning a shoot for Friday for Karate Ghost 2. So it's definitely been busy for sure. Oh, I've got this movie in the works called Shagged. It's about a shagged rug that eats people at an orgy.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, you haven't. Go to my website, Greg.
Oh, well,
JamesBalsamo.com.
is it up on? I got your IMDb up there, but
Yeah, Shagged is on there.
must be an upcoming. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an upcoming. Oh my goodness. I like the sound of that. Are you kidding me? I like where you come up with your titles.
thanks.
Shagged. Well, who's all going to be in that?
So I'm still in pre-production. I haven't done that one yet. And then I got another slasher film called What's in the Locker about these naked cheerleaders that get cut up by a mascot. And
Kind of like Girls' Night Out.
yeah, exactly. Except it's not a teddy bear, it's a he's like a bobcat. And then I did Dead Male. That's got Daniel Roebuck in it, who plays Grandpa Munster in Rob Zombie's
Yep,
Monsters.
yeah.
And Joe Estevez is in that. And I made that with Greg Talley. And then I got a mafia movie with Noah Hathaway called I Got a Bullet with Your Name on It. And Brink Stevens, Linnea Quigley, and Michelle Bauer in that also. Also Edward Furlong's in that. And then I'm doing another movie called Basket Paul. It's about this little monster that lives inside of a basketball. This is Basket Paul. I think you might have the exclusive. I don't know if I've shown Basket Paul off yet.
Oh, I
So
like that. Who
yeah.
made that? Did Joe Castro make that?
No, actually, Waleed, uh, one of Tom Devlin's guys, made this. So uh,
Do you get shagged with that?
I don't get dragged with it. It is the basketball for a women's basketball team. So there will be a lot of showering female basketball players in that.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking at my 10th film here at some point here, and I'm thinking, you know what? I might want to get in on Shagged.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that. A killer carpet movie or killer rug movie. I like that. I love the poster for it. Who does all your drawings?
Well, that's Jeff Zorno. So I work with a whole bunch of people. Jeff Zorno does a lot of my posters since the beginning, since my first film, Hack Job. Jeff's amazing. He does the Godzilla comic books for IDW, and he does a lot of T-shirts for Fright Rags. But I work with a whole bunch of different artists.
Okay,
Alaric
well,
Barca does a lot of my concept art, and Bob East does all my titles and box art and stuff like that. And Dan Beazle just did the cover for Karate Ghost 2. So, and Jellicoe, Jay Spencer Shull does a lot of my stuff too. So, I
well,
work with a whole bunch of people.
well, you got Alien Danger 3 coming up now. What's the most you have in terms for a franchise? Have you gone further than 3?
Yeah, Mind Melters. This is 16. This is out right now.
Are they films you directed or just collaborated on?
Yeah, these are all. I did all this stuff in Mind Melters except for the stop animation, which is Richard Svensson, my buddy from Sweden. So I use some of his short films.
You see, I know Mine Melters through Craig Muckler, but I don't know the details about Mine Melters. Now, you say there's 16 of them. Okay, you've beaten all the horror franchises. So what is Mine Melters?
Like I said, they're compilation films of short films, music videos from bands that I've been in, celebrity promos that from celebrities that talk about being in my films, and behind the scenes things and short films that I've done or that I've made just for Mind Melters. In the first couple of Mind Melters, I did a movie called a vampire washing machine about a washing machine that's a vampire, and
Okay.
and G. Larry Butler, who's just in a movie with Julia Roberts called Gaslit, plays a role in that where he's doing a King Diamond homage, where he's King Cubic Zirconia, which is a fake diamond. So, you know, it's silly comedy stuff like that.
I love how your mind works. Your imagination goes all over the place, and I love the fact that like they say, oh, Hollywood has no ideas. You seem to come up with a whole lot of fucking ideas.
Thanks.
No, seriously. I looked through your credits and it's like Shagged, for example. Like who comes up with that?
Yeah,
Well,
me.
you do. Or From Dusk Till Bong, you know?
Yeah,
Like it sounds like From Dusk Till Dawn clashed with Cheech and Chong,
right.
you
Exactly.
know? Or Slice, which is the golf horror film and stuff. Or Nightmare Party, Twerk of Terror. Like just the title alone entices me. That's why I insisted on that. But you are proof that there's definitely ideas because, like I said, I don't even think you sleep.
Yeah, I don't. I got bad insomnia, but
Well,
somebody's got to make these bad movies, right, Greg? Somebody's got to do it.
well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with making bad movies because a lot of times a bad. Look at The Room, for example.
Sure.
You know, I mean, there's bad and there's shit. Pearl Harbor is an example of a shit movie.
Right.
The Room is bad, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Gigli is absolute garbage, but
Right.
I could watch it and make fun of it. From Justin to Kelly, you can watch and make fun of it, you know.
Sure.
Um, yours are just your films are just begging for. I mean, you got me in some of them, so I mean, what can you? But still, I'm honored to be part of these. But I have a question you're probably going to have a hard time answering, but I'm going to ask it. What would you consider the greatest film you've done?
It's probably going to be Robot Dracula right now because I don't know if you looked at the cast of it, but like I
Wrong
said,
answer. I'm not in it. Wrong answer.
it wants blood where you get watched by Eric
There
Roberts.
you go. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
Acting.
Yeah, that's where Eric Roberts is watching me and he's so impressed.
It's true.
Robot Dracula. That's the
Robot.
one I know you talked about. And you got some filmmakers in that, like John Landis.
Yeah.
Where did you meet John Landis? Was he at a con?
No, I met him at a restaurant actually, and he's in two of my movies. He's in Alien Danger 2, and he's in Robot Dracula. So,
I know his son is making some really good movies. Like I'm trying to
Max.
think of the name of it, but I really enjoyed that one he did with Kristen Stewart. Oh, what was it called? I'm messing on the name of it now. Had the guy from Social Network was in it as well, but that was really good. His son made that, but John Landis has done a lot of really cool pictures.
I like
Um,
the Stupids.
yeah, I love Animal, but my favorite of his is the Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah, that movie's
Oh yeah,
brilliant.
yep, the Blues Brothers. I've had three of the Blues Brothers band on the show,
Oh
but
nice.
Coscarelli. I mean, there's another filmmaker you've got on here.
Yeah,
So Bruce Dern. You got Bruce Dern.
yeah.
Okay, where'd you meet him?
I also met Bruce at a different restaurant.
Because I mean, he worked with Hitchcock and Family Plot.
I know, he told me that, and he said, "I've worked with the greats," and I said, "Well, now you've worked with all of them because you worked with me."
Worked with Hitchcock. He worked with Tarantino. You
Yeah.
got Tom Holland. I actually am hoping to get Tom Holland on the show. I'm hoping he has pity on me because I did order a signed Fright Night script. So, but I mean, Mick Foley.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about Mick Foley.
he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, but you got Fred Dicker. What now? Why is it you got so many filmmakers on here?
Well, as a filmmaker, I love to get, directors and stuff to do cameos. Like, I've got Ted Nicolau's first on-screen appearance. Director of TerrorVision and
Mm-hmm.
Subspecies. He's in
Uh-huh.
Kill Bill too. So I've been getting directors to do cameos for a long time. It's just something
Maybe
I
I'm just maybe I'm just noticing it now, but okay, what is Robot Dracula about? Is it just what the title says? Dracula's a robot?
yeah,
And he's played by Malcolm McDowell?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. What was Malcolm McDowell's reaction to when you approached him about this?
I told him because I had already had John Landis and Bruce Dern in the movie, so it made me a little more credible. So he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you got them, sure, I'll do it."
You didn't tell him you worked with me?
Well, of course, I led with that, Greg.
When are you going to make Life and Death of an Avocado? Troy
Yeah.
Froman, that was his question.
Oh yeah,
Troy Froman wants to know when you're making Life and Death of an Avocado because he poured his heart out in that scene.
it's true. It's actually an homage to my first film, Hack Job, and play a filmmaker that kills pretentious filmmakers. And so the movie opens with a scene from Life and Death of an Avocado, and then I chainsaw the director's face off. And I talk about, how it's crazy that Hollywood puts these pretentious filmmakers on a pedestal, and horror always gets, a second banana treatment in the sense of cinema. And it's sad, but it's still true. Like over 10 years later, nothing has changed. So, that's something that I still stand by.
You know what? That is true. Because I find my favorite movies are either horror or comedies, especially teen comedies, maybe it's because I remember that time, but
Mhm.
I also like experimental films like your David Lynch or Quentin Tarantino and Kubrick and filmmakers like
Cronenberg.
that. Huh?
Cronenberg.
I love Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Love Cronenberg. I've interviewed a few people from his movies, including Lynn Lowry, who you've worked with before.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I love Cronenberg, and
Lynn Lowry's actually in Raven Van Slender Saves Christmas.
is she?
Yeah, she's Mrs. Claus.
Oh wow, she'd make a great Mrs. Claus. She still looks good.
She looks great.
I've I'm still in touch with her. I met her at Horrorama 2018, and I had her on my show. I was the first podcast she did, but she would do these little things online where she'd be like when Shivers come out on Blu-ray,
Yeah.
she'd do a thing where you could order it and get a couple signed photos and stuff. I got a lot of signed stuff by her, not just at the con, but uh, through online communication. So I got a lot of signed Lynn Lowry stuff. I
Nice.
love her. She's awesome. She's totally
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Well, you know what, James? It was wonderful having you come on here. And
Always a pleasure.
well, you're a five-timer now. You're caught up
Five
to
times.
Genevieve Rossi.
That's it. Living the high life now, Greg.
Well, I was happy to, like I said, I was happy to watch Hollywood Werewolf the other night. I had a good time watching that, and I look forward to seeing what else has come. Yeah, I might put in for something on Shagged.
Cool.
Give me time on that.
Okay.
I'm glad you're understanding about the fact because I've done 9 of them. I'm gonna try to get a 10th one. I think Shagged sounds like something I should get myself in.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure you'll have Sean Doucette and Troy Froman in that
I'm sure.
getting Shag. You should have Troy Elke's beard play the shag carpet.
Yeah,
He might do that.
you might.
He might. You could have the squirrel go hunt
Yeah,
for its nuts in it.
that's right.
There you go. There you go. You got any cons coming up?
I do in November. I'll be in Arizona at Mad Monster Party, and then I'll probably be at Famous Monsters with Ozzy Osbourne himself at the Famous Monsters convention in
Are
October.
we going to get Ozzy in a movie?
Certainly gonna fucking try, Greg.
Are you going to get Ozzy Osbourne watching me?
Of course. What else would I have him do? That's what the Prince of Darkness does on his downtime. He watches you on television.
I guess. You know what? I appreciate you, James, and I'm always seeing what you're doing, and I love your imagination. And
Thanks.
yeah, and definitely get Angel Bradford and Shagged. Get Angel Bradford in every fucking thing you can get her in.
Oh,
Look,
yeah, she's gaining quite the fan base quickly.
yes, yes, and she's a big fan of the milk products.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you can find her in the land of milk and honey.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, James, before I let you go, would you mind doing another promo for my show?
No problem.
Got so many of them, but you know what? I gotta keep at you about them.
Yeah, just let me
Go
know
for
when
it. You come right off the top of your head on it.
is it still Python's Paradise?
That's right.
Hey everybody, James Balsamo here. You're watching Python's Paradise.
One of the greatest actors James has ever worked with. I'm sorry that I had to say that. Hey, look, I own that.
That's
Eric
right.
Roberts watching me on television. I own that.
It's true.
I'm proud of that. I'm glad I have this. I gotta get more of your stuff on Blu-ray, man. This has got a whole lot of doctor's signatures on it because I don't recognize a single one of the names.
Craig Muckler, Brink Stevens is on that.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
Yeah. Yeah, Linnea's not in this one, so I can't take this one to her. Darn
No,
it.
that one.
Yeah, she's not in this one. But I like what you did with it.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah. You have yourself a wonderful evening. I know you're not going to sleep, so.
Oh, no, I'm uploading a movie right now to send to my distributor. So
Well, what movie is it?
Mind Melter 17.
17. Like your shirt, RoboCop. It took me 5 years, but I got Nancy Allen on my show in 2021.
Oh, cool. I'm trying to get her in a movie. I just saw her last week.
I like her, and I had her on for about 2 hours. We must have spent about an hour of it just talking about Dress to Kill because I love that movie.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my favorite movie that she had done. But she
Not
had
Carrie?
a, huh?
Not
I
Carrie?
love, I love Carrie.
Uh-huh.
I love Carrie. But Dress to Kill is my favorite De Palma movie,
Uh-huh.
and my favorite performance by her in it.
Sure.
Yep. So, but she had framed poster of RoboCop and Dress to Kill behind her in the scene. But yeah, I love Carrie as well. Absolutely. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
anybody like her who can fold herself in half doing setups. She
Sure.
obviously was in very good shape.
Right.
Yep, because PJ Souls kept screwing them up.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'll let you go back to talking to Craig Muskler about making an appearance in the next Sexy Time movie, and
Thanks.
I'm opting out of that one, but you might get Craig and Troy Elke and Sean Doucette is a shoe-in. He'll do it, and Troy Froman.
That's it.
They'll do it, but I can't support that one with those names. Now, Angel Bradford, I'll go for that, but I'm not gonna go for that if she's in it with all these other fellas,
Sure.
because then I'll I'll be waiting too much to get to the good stuff.
Right.
Anyway, James, you have yourself a good night, and you take care of yourself.
All right, bud. Send my
He,
love to Skittles.
no, Skittles is over there curled up asleep. He feels insulted. He feels so insulted that I exploit him the way I do. Yeah, yeah. You keep creating, man. I like how your mind works.
Thanks, buddy.
As warped as it is, I respect it.
Thanks, man. Keep
Take
being
care,
you,
Gump.
Craig. Thanks, buddy. See ya.
Take care. Bye bye.